Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield. 25 to the 30. The 35 to 40. The 45 to 50. He has only Kovalevsky to beat. Gets through him. The 10 and touchdown for Collins.
Duarte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line. And that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move, a shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
He sends one on goal, and he scores! Jonah Popre scores for the second time tonight.
And it is a power play goal! The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from the Waranenko Sports Complex in Roselle, New Jersey, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of Jersey Bearcats Arena football in the American Arena League 2. Tonight's game features the Jersey Bearcats taking on the Maryland Eagles. And as we approach kickoff, we officially welcome you in to the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show. I'm Joe Foreman alongside David Pizzuto. And Dave, for the next half hour, we'll take an in-depth look at the Bearcats and what they've done in the previous two games since our last broadcast 3 weeks ago. Entering this Week 6 matchup, the Bearcats go for their fifth straight win. As for the Eagles, a victory here tonight would get them even with Jersey in the standings.
You're right, Joe. So just like you mentioned, the Bearcats looking for win number 5 in a row this season, and they've done the last two, Joe, on the road. They haven't been here in Waranenko for some time. The start of that road trip was against this very Maryland Eagles team, a 48-8 victory. Very emphatic win there. Puts them in sitting in a good position in second place right now in the standings in the AAL2. Obviously, a win today over the Eagles. They have a 2-game lead over them, which is 3 games left to play in the season. And for the Eagles, this is a monumental game for them as well. A chance for them to get the season series even with the Bearcats and get even with them in the standings as well.
And Dave, as always, we will hear directly from Bearcats coaches and players as we head down to field level for interviews later in our pregame show. But for now, let's take a look back at the last week of action in the AAL2. You can see the final scores from last weekend on your screen now. Each of the two teams that will take the field tonight were in action last week. The Bearcats picked up a 21-point win to keep pace with the Stampede in the standings, while the Eagles outlasted the Rage to remain within 1 game of Jersey, entering a critical matchup here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. You know, the scores on your screen show both of these teams victorious in their last games. Of course, the Bearcats with a great start in that game against the United Firepower, really keeping them lockstep with the Steel City Stampede, a big 33-12 win there. And then the Eagles hanging on. They got a really tough Eastern Shore Rage effort last week, but they come in, they win that game, they win it by 9 points. They put themselves at least in a position to really make some noise and to control their own destiny for the playoffs, which is what every team is looking at this point in the season.
So, Dave, after tonight, we have just 2 weeks left in the regular season, and there is still plenty to be decided. You see on your screen now the schedule for the Bearcats the rest of the way, featuring tonight's game against the Eagles and 2 games against teams that they have already beaten decisively in the Firepower and the Rage. The top 4 teams at the conclusion of the 8-game regular season make the playoffs, and for the Bearcats, they have already beaten their next 3 opponents once each by a combined 75 points. Also, each of their last 3 games will be played here at home, so they very much still have a chance to overtake the Stampede for the league's top seed entering the postseason.
Yeah, and you see the scores on your screen, very lopsided here in favor of the Bearcats, especially in their road games. And now, for the first time in their season, they get to play teams for the second time. So adjustments will be made, obviously, on both sides of the ball. This is a really good test to see how far these two teams have come since that game 2 weeks ago, what changes changes that they've made. And of course, if you're the Bearcats here, you see 3 teams on your schedule that you've already beaten this year. You fully expect to go 7-1 during this regular season, and you too, a chance to control your own destiny as far as playoff positioning, and still a stone's throw away from that first number 1 seed.
Okay, Dave, let's talk about our matchup here tonight. The Bearcats have already beaten the Eagles by 40 earlier this season, but Maryland is also very much involved in the playoff picture with 3 games to go. Jersey's one loss this season came in the closing seconds of their home opener, a game in which they led by 3 scores in the second half. The Bearcats have not lost since, and we know what the Jersey offense is capable of. What needs to happen tonight for Maryland to snap the Bearcats' win streak?
Well, I think for me, Joe, it has to be you have to really slow this Jersey Bearcats team down early. I think the common denominator, the thing that we've seen, the calling card for this Bearcats team is they get off to some really great starts. We've seen it ourselves, and of course you noticed it with some of the scores that we saw, and they are a really strong first half team. Their ability to get up by multiple scores, 20 plus points, that's really been the difference. And so if you want to have success, if you're the Eagles, you really need to kind of keep that in check, keep within striking distance early. If anything, get an early lead, but you don't want to fall behind by multiple scores.
Easier said than done against a very tough Jersey Bearcats team. So with that, the stage is set for tonight's game. We have some great football ahead of us in what will be an important game for both teams. The Jersey Bearcats and the Maryland Eagles are getting closer to kickoff, so what we will do now is step aside and take a break, and when we come back, we will go down to field level and talk to some players and coaches as we continue the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show right here on the PDF Sports Network. Stay with us.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
Life insurance is a benefit you and your loved ones need. Buying it early means lower premiums, higher benefits, security, and peace of mind. At I'm Covered Life Insurance, you get a personal touch from Anthony M. Royster, whose primary purpose is to provide proper protection. Unsure of how to start or want the keys to a sound financial plan? Call Anthony at I'm Covered Life Insurance at 267-323-9632 or email aroyster at amrimcovered.com.
Warananko Sports Center is the official home of the Jersey Bearcats and is proud to welcome the AAL2. Located at One Park Drive in Roselle, Warananko is available for parties and rentals, public skating in the winter, and camps and activities each spring and summer. Visit us at waranankopark.com to learn more about our rink, indoor dining and party area, and all that beautiful Warananko Park has to offer. waranankopark.com or call 908-298-7849.
Arena football fans, make sure you keep up with the latest news and information from the AAL and AAL2 all year long at AmericanArenaLeague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and follow all of the AAL2 teams to keep up with the latest league happenings and stay connected. Want to sponsor the AAL and AAL2? Contact us at info@AmericanArenaLeague.com. We'll see you at the arena.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats would like to thank Von Seals Veggies and Seafood, official food sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats game day. Von Seals Food Truck is available for bookings at vvsfoodtruck@gmail.com, specializing in the most delicious seafood with the freshest of vegetables made to order. Follow Chef Supreme and Von Seals on Facebook to see where we are serving the best plant and pescatarian food near you. Welcome back to the Brownstone pregame show here on the PDF Sports Network. And as we close in closer to kickoff, it's time now to go down to field level here at Warananko. Dave is downstairs with co-owner and head coach of the Jersey Bearcats, A.J. Roque. Dave, take it away.
Joe, I am here with Bearcats head coach and co-owner, A.J. Roque. A.J., last two games on the road, come out with two victories. How proud of your team? How proud are you of your team after those two performances?
Going on the road, definitely. It's tough to be on the road, especially overnight trip. Team got to stay together and come together. Have each other's back, and to go on the road for 2 weeks in a row and get a win is, it's phenomenal. We like that type of thing, and I think we grew as a team on the road.
Great. First time tonight, you're playing a team for the second time around. 2 weeks ago, obviously a big win over the Eagles. What are you expecting now, second time around against them?
Again, to go out and do our thing. We want to make teams play us, right? We don't want to be able to allow that team to dictate what we do, right? We want to continue doing what we do, and that's how we're going to approach tonight.
Seems like the mantra for this team is to finish out games, play a clean 60 minutes. At this point in the season, as we're approaching the end of the season, how far along do you think this team is with absorbing everything that you want to do offensively and defensively, and, of course, playing that 60 minutes that you want?
Not only myself saying it, but the leaders on the team, with Steph and guys on the defense, they step up. They the verbiage is the same around the team. So, that it's easy when everybody's buying in. It's easy to keep it going and not lose interest.
Absolutely. AJ, your team is rolling. You're on a nice little streak here. Final 3 games are right here at Warananko. How important is it now to finish strong, and how soon is it, or when do you look at the standings and start thinking about what's next?
We just go week by week. Our motto is 1-0 each week, right? 1-0 each week, and everything else will take care of itself. So, we're looking at Maryland Eagles right now, then going on our bye week, and then after our bye week, we have the United Firepower, which we'll worry about in 2 weeks. But right now, we just got to worry about the Eagles.
Excellent, AJ. Good luck tonight.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you got it. AJ Roque, head coach, co-owner of the Jersey Bearcats. Joe, will send it back up to you.
Coach Roque will be looking for a big effort from his team here tonight, but Dave's a popular guy down there. He has a line of players waiting to speak to him, beginning first with new addition, Bearcats defensive lineman John Kennedy.
All right, Joe, I am here with new Jersey Bearcats defensive lineman John Kennedy. Jay, how are you? And how are you adjusting to the team so far?
Good. Love the team so far. Love being in Jersey.
Excellent. And how does it feel coming to a team that's right now really rolling, going after their 5th straight win, playing a team that they faced already, and in that playoff hunt?
It feels great, not having to worry about, okay, when's our season going to be over? Kind of like, okay, it's going to be a long season from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to being up front in the middle of that defensive line or at the ends, what's your one-on-one kind of philosophy? What are you looking to do out there?
I got to embarrass the other person. I got to embarrass the other person and try and be the first one, the quarterback.
All right, Jay, we're going to hold you to that. All right?
Got you the first one.
All right, good luck out there.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jay Kennedy, new Bearcat, joined the team this past week, fresh off of his stint from the Columbus Lions. Joe, we'll send it back up to you. We'll have one more coming up.
We will hear a bit more from the Bearcats defense here as Coach Ja, the defensive coordinator for the Jersey Bearcats, joins Dave down on field level right now.
All right, Joe, I am here with Coach Ja of the Jersey Bearcats defensive coordinator, coach your team. I'll ask you the same question as I did AJ. Team goes on the road, 2 big games on the road. Your defense really steps up, especially the game against the Eagles 2 weeks ago. How proud are you right now with the matriculation of this defense?
Oh, I'm very proud. We working hard. And when I came in, it was like a lot of them said they haven't been coached or haven't been coached up right. So I just came in and just basically just fine-tune little things. We got a good group of guys, you know, and they're getting better and better every week. I think we only holding teams to like 8 points, maybe 10 points a game offensively or defensively. So, yeah.
And 2 weeks ago against this Eagles team, that was the result, only 8 points given up. What did you guys do so well in that game to really hold the Eagles offense in check?
Their quarterback is a scrambling quarterback. So basically what we did was just, go ahead, we're going to let you scramble, but our backs are coming after you. And our backs were really hungry. And like I told them, this game is for you. I want this week, I need you guys to be players of the week. And that's it. That's all it was. And my DBs on the back end were covering man. And everything else took care of its own self. D-line, great D-line.
Excellent. And I was going to ask you about your game plan week to week with this defense. If this defense has a calling card, if it wants to be known for something, what do you think that is?
Well, I'm going to tell you where my defense starts from, the D-line. Oh, we got a bunch of hungry guys. You know, I mean, my first group is just as good as my second group. So that's where it all starts from, is my D-line. My D-line is everything. That's how I'm going to win a championship, is from this D-line.
Excellent. And you have a new D-lineman tonight.
Yes.
John Kennedy comes in, first practice this week with the team, fresh off his stint from Columbus. What do you see from John?
I coached him for the Jersey Ballers. So I know he used to be 320. He's 280 now, faster, smarter, coming from the AIFA. And he's just ready. He's so ready tonight. Oh, my goodness. He calls me like every 15 minutes. Coach, I want to play. I need to play. Like, I need this film because he has CFL coming today to look at it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Coach Ja, best of luck out there today. Have some fun.
Thank you.
You got it.
Coach Ja hoping for a big effort from his unit here tonight, but Dave does have one final guest before we take one last break ahead of kickoff. It is Bearcats quarterback Stephen Colon who joins Dave on field level now. Dave, take it away.
All right, Joe, I am here with Bearcats starting quarterback. For a second time around, Stephen Colon joins us here on the Brownstone pregame. Steph, last time we spoke was before the season actually started. Now that we're in kind of the end of midseason, getting towards the end of the season, how is the team really progressing?
I kind of feel like we're getting our groove like we spoke about. I feel like our chemistry is starting to really gel now. The people that we need to come in and make us gel, that's what's happening. O-line playing good, defense picking it up, So I'm not going to say we're at our max, but we're moving in the right pace going into the second half of the season where we know we're going to be in elimination football soon.
Excellent. And tonight, for the first time, you're facing a team for the second time. 2 weeks ago, you had a lot of success against the Eagles. They're probably going to come out pretty hungry for this one, looking to even the score. What did you see from their team 2 weeks ago that you're taking into this week's game?
One thing I can say is they're a hungry bunch of dudes. No matter what the score was, they play with high energy, high intensity. So knowing that they're playing to hold their playoff spot or move up in their playoff spot, they're going to come with that energy. So we just got to be ready to match that energy, match the spurts they come out with, and then I think we'll be fine if we play this our brand of football and stick to what we do and not treat it like it's something bigger.
Excellent. And one of the calling cards of this team, especially on offense, is the great starts that you guys have had to games, really setting the tone for the rest of the game. How important is that for you guys as an offense?
Right. I mean, if you score, that helps the defense feel good, and the defense make a play, we feel good. So us starting off fast just let us know what we've been preparing for is what we're seeing and what we're doing. So a fast start is always good, but we're trying to score often every time.
Excellent. Steph, good luck out there tonight.
Thank you, man.
All right. Stephen Colon, starting quarterback of the Jersey Bearcats. Joe, we'll send it back up to you for our commercial break.
Great job, Dave. And while we get Dave back up to the booth, we will cut now to a word from all of our sponsors before getting you closer to kickoff right here on the Brownstone pregame show, counting down to Jersey Bearcats football right here on the PDF Sports Network.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann.
Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at totalperformancebodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daverieman@rcn.com.
New Jersey Urban News is a voice for the voiceless. Breaking news, health and wellness, business, the arts, and the latest local sports. As a black news source in the Garden State, New Jersey Urban News is dedicated to covering New Jersey's vibrant African-American community through informative stories and thorough coverage. New Jersey Urban News covers stories often overlooked by mainstream media, impacting the 1.3 million people that make up New Jersey's black community. Visit them today at njurbannews.com. Today's broadcast is being sponsored by the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Junior ROTC, and the Crusaders, a winning combination of enterprise, leadership, innovation, courage, and commitment. Learn more about the U.S. Army and ROTC programs by visiting goarmy.com and at usarmyjrotc.com. Become a part of our winning team through enrollment, employment, and leadership opportunities. Be all you can be with the Army and Army ROTC. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Three Bleezies Entertainment Group on the Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Catch the Three Bleezies weekly show, as well as live recordings and all the opinions and the unfiltered hot topics you've come to love about semi-pro. It's the resource for semi-pro football and more, from the official source for all things Bleezy. The Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Visit and follow now. Mundo Mundo. Yeah, yeah.
Unique Resin Design specializes in home decor with one-of-a-kind handcrafted resin products. Perfect for your home and any place you love. Perfect for gifts and parties. Let Imani Green dazzle you with inspirational creations you can get at only one place, Unique Resin Designs. Visit us at uniqueresindesign.com and learn how to get free shipping on your next order.
Lila Keys Photography. To capture the very best memories, let Lila Keys Photography be your answer for maternity and milestone photos, family portraits, events, and graduations. From simple headshots to action-packed sports photography, Lila Keys Photography preserves your greatest moments and achievements. Reach out at lilakeys21@gmail.com or reach out via Instagram at Lila Keys.
And we are back from the Waranenko Sports Complex in Roselle, New Jersey. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside David Pizzuto with coverage of this American Arena League 2 matchup between the Jersey Bearcats and the Maryland Eagles. We are just moments away from kickoff, and this has been the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show. We thank everyone who tuned in from the start, albeit on tape delay here this evening. The weather conditions did not allow for a steady internet connection, so we are recording straight to the disc. If you are watching when this game premieres, you are watching on the evening of Saturday, May 20th, 2023. And Dave, once again, we're just moments away from the start of this game. As we spoke about during the pregame, a big game for both teams. If the Eagles want any chance of catching the Bearcats, they have to win tonight. If the Bearcats want any chance of finishing with the #1 seed, they likely need a win as well.
Absolutely. You know, that's not mathematically true true, Joe, but we know, and these teams know, that's really the case tonight. A loss would be, critical in their fight for playoff positioning. And, for the Eagles, like we mentioned, they have a lot to prove after that loss 2 weeks ago by 40 points to this very same Bearcats team. They feel they're a better team than that. I think the Jersey Bearcats know they're a better team than that, and we should be in for a quality 60 minutes here tonight.
Well, Jersey, the last 4 weeks, 56 points, 48 points, 48 points once again, and 33 points. This has been a big play offense, Dave. What has clicked so well for the Bearcats offensively this year?
Yeah, I think they've been able to take a lot of teams by surprise early, Joe. We've seen so many one-play touchdown drives with this Jersey Bearcats team. And also, Joe, their ability to really stretch the field on first down. Their first play of drives, they almost exclusively go for the home run. I mean, we've seen them run a couple of times here and there, but they are a team that looks down the field first and then underneath second. And I think that really has taken a stranglehold on some of these games, and it's forced teams to play behind, play under pressure. Next thing you know, you're giving up 30, 40, and 50 points a game.
Well, the Bearcats have played from ahead for just about all of this season. They have led for all but a few seconds in their first game so far in 2023. As for the Eagles, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. They've alternated wins and losses since the start. According to that trend, they're due for a loss. That's a trend they hope to break, along with the Bearcats' 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, that's a point, too, to make, Joe, is that this is a Maryland Eagles team that's 3-2 this season, but they have yet to go on any winning streaks this season. They've been win-loss, win-loss, win. So a win tonight would be their first winning streak of the season, and they'd love to save that for tonight as well.
We are waiting opening kickoff. I am looking for a football out on the field. I don't see it yet, but we're just moments away from the start of this one, and it will be the Eagles kicking to the Bearcats to get things underway from the Waranenko Sports Complex in Roselle. And a football does reach the field from the Eagles bench, and we have kickoff coming up from Waranenko. We do have an on-field hero camera this evening. You'll get a chance to see that from throughout the broadcast. Kicking off will be Phil Morgan as he sends it away. And that's over the outstretched arm of the Bearcats returner in the end zone, but he has good blocking as that is taken to about the 15-yard line. On the return for Jersey was Kyle Ward.
Yeah, and Ward, the Bearcats welcome him back. He did not play in last week's game against the United Firepower. That was a overnight trip for the Bearcats, and he was not a part of that game, so this is his first action back. His last game played was against this Eagles team. And decent field position, Joe, when you think that he had to really double back for that one. Picked it up late, back of the end zone.
Off the fingertips, and you have to get that ball out of the end zone to avoid potentially surrendering points on a kick return. That 1-point Uno always in play on kickoffs. Jersey's offense takes the field for their first drive of the game. They have been very good offensively early in games. Two receivers, two quarterbacks. Stephen Cologne's left. Ward in motion pre-snap. He takes off up the field. Cologne goes deep, and Ward makes the catch. He is in for a Bearcats touchdown. And Dave, you said it. This offense a threat to score on any given play. They are in for 6 on the game's first snap.
And Ward had a big head of steam. I'm sure we'll see a replay of that, Joe, but man, that was close to being past the line of scrimmage when he got off to that start. But what a play, and we just finished saying it, the one-play touchdown and going from the home run over top on first down. That's been the calling card to this team, and just like that, just seconds in, the Bearcats have the lead.
Ward had to tie his cleat following the kickoff. Immediately made his way back over to the huddle and comes up with the touchdown reception as that extra point is good. Anthony Storego on the extra point gives the Bearcats a 7-0 lead. We will have replay for you the rest of the way as we scramble to get back on the air. Our live replay feature was not enabled ahead of kickoff, but we'll have that for you the rest of the way. One play and a touchdown for the Jersey offense. Will the Eagles be able to respond? Eagles Scored just 8 points against Jersey in the first meeting of the season.
Where does it usually show up? Here?
Bearcats offense has been prolific all season long, especially here at home in the games we've covered here on the PDF Sports Network. Waranenko Sports Arena beginning to fill up here, as the weather, we thought prior to kickoff, may have been a bit of a deterrent, but as this game has gotten underway, the area around the boards has really filled out nicely. Some young athletes with some signs along the far sideline as well. That's picked up by Keller. He takes it along the boards and is knocked into the glass on that hit. Now, we don't have a number 8 on the roster, Dave. There is a number 8 on the field for Jersey.
Oh, there is. Yeah, we do not have that, although we can see if we can retrieve it. But decent starting field position. That time, our cameraman almost caught that tackle. Joe, right in the vicinity there. Chris Deanna is our Hero Cam operator.
Got to be careful down there, Chris. Chris on the field, right up against the boards, far sideline. He's at the 15-yard line. This drive for the Eagles will start from their own 17. Chance of defense from the home supporters here in Waranenko. Christopher Johnson at quarterback for the Eagles will look to pass. Pocket collapsing, and that is thrown away into the glass and out of play.
Yeah, when we spoke to Ja Valentine and during pregame, defensive coordinator, he said, we are going to let Linton do his thing. Christopher Johnson do his thing. I am working off an older roster for
this roster,
the Eagles.
You might want to disregard that.
Absolutely. So, we're going to let Johnson do his thing. We're going to let him run around the pocket. We just don't want to get him into open field. But he is an absolute nightmare as far as his speed is concerned. But Bearcats did a nice job of bottling him up there.
That collapsing pocket made it so that Johnson could not take off and run. And that was big on that last snap. Against the quarterback who likes to make plays outside of the pocket. 2nd down and 10. Man in motion pre-snap is LeBeau. That snap was bobbled. Johnson throws right, and that is into the Bearcats bench.
Yeah, and you get the sense that Johnson is really rushing, even on that throw, Joe, and he's tapping his own chest saying that's my fault there. But that throw looked a little hurried, and you'd like to think the pressure perhaps getting to him. And
we've seen it in the 2 games that we've covered here. The Bearcats defense has done a very good job forcing mistakes with their interior pressure. And that pressure will be looking to get home here on a 3rd down and 10. Man in motion is Keller. Johnson takes the snap, looks right, and spikes one straight into the turf. We almost got a souvenir, Dave.
We almost did, yeah. It took a bounce, and folks in front of us were able to throw it back into play. But now a 4th and 10 facing the Eagles here on their opening drive, and you'd like to think that they need a good response after that one-play Jersey drive. And they got to dial up a pretty good play here. And that throw, yeah, you can see the little replay there, skip in front, just in front of Andrew's camera up top with us.
That was close.
Yeah.
4th down and 10. Eagles looking to keep their opening drive alive. LeBeau and Morgan are wide. One more receiver in the slot to Johnson's left. Motion man was LeBeau. Johnson throws right in his direction as we have a flag down on the field.
That was actually the correct route, the correct look, and the correct route for LeBeau. He had the open, but he wasn't anticipating that ball to be thrown there high into his route. We have a holding against the defense, which may give an automatic 1st down here to the Eagles.
On that play, it looked like Johnson thought LeBeau was perhaps going to break toward the sideline.
Right.
Now, there was room to the left in the direction LeBeau was running. If Johnson put that ball there, that may have gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely, because, LeBeau, maybe he would have gotten popped if he caught that one where he was going with it, but he did have an opening there underneath. Would have probably had the first down.
Holding penalty makes it first down and plus territory for the Eagles.
I don't really understand this, Joe. I mean, they're putting fourth down now. They are going to stop the clock here with 7:15 to go. But if that hold occurred in the secondary, that should be 5 yards and an automatic first down. But right now they still have fourth down and maybe 3 on the play. Maybe less than that. 4th and 1 or 4th and 2.
So it will be fourth down. Can't say I've seen that before.
Clock starts to run.
Man in motion pre-snap is Morgan. Johnson looks over the middle, rolls out to his right. Flag in the backfield as Johnson ducks out of bounds in front of the Jersey bench, and that flag was thrown in the area of holding.
Well, Johnson easily got the first down thanks to that hold, but they are going to back them up. Nick Price flying into the backfield to try and get Johnson, but he came up empty, looking to slam him into the boards.
Dave, a second flag was thrown on that.
And they're both against the Eagles. The second coming for unsportsmanlike conduct, perhaps against the coaching staff here for the Eagles. Head coach and president Matthew Steeple calls the shots here for the Maryland Eagles.
Sante Tate was also having a conversation with the official on the way back to the huddle. I'm not sure if that's what drew the flag. But you have to wonder now, does Maryland have a punter? And it appears the answer is likely no, because they're setting up to go for this. And should they go for it here and not get it, they would give the ball to Jersey deep in their own territory. And of course, if they throw an incomplete pass and don't pick up any yards on this play, but we'll see what the Eagles offense has in the playbook for this spot. Fourth down and very long. One receiver in the slot. Man in motion is LeBeau. He takes off up the field as Johnson looks to throw. Johnson steps up under pressure and is taken down as 2 Bearcats converge to make that tackle. Nick Price and Shea Davison helping to take Johnson down.
Right, and emphatically making the Eagles turn it over on downs. And some members of the Eagles wanted perhaps a flag there for a helmet-to-helmet. We will see if potentially, looks like they did helmet-to-helmet on themselves. That was, Kennedy was in there as well. But here we go, only the second offensive play about to be run.
Well, that wasn't the worst thing that could have happened on that play for the Eagles, because they did pick up some yards. The gain was minimal, but at the very least they'll force Jersey to work a bit. As that handoff is taken up the middle by Nasir Adams. He's still fighting as the pile pushes him all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and there's a nice emphasis on the run game as well. You know, the Bearcats are going quickly as well here, keeping the Eagles on their toes.
Throw goes left. It is complete. Catch was made by Pete Savridis. Nice tackle on that play to prevent him from getting into the end zone. That was Lloyd Meeks bringing down Savridis just short of the goal line. Bearcats do not huddle once again. Handoff goes up the middle, and Adams is taken down, but not in time as he's in for the touchdown, as they had a very short way to go on that goal line carry, and Adams is in for 6 more.
Yeah, emphasis on the run at that time. Of course, 2 out of the 3 plays coming on the ground, and of course Adams, the featured back, and they get in once again. So now the Bearcats, much like they've been doing game in and game out, emphasis on the run as you see the reverse angle here.
There you get a look at that touchdown from field level. A very good look at it with some rather faint lines down around the end zone. It's a bit tough to see up here whether or not he got in.
After the game, we're going to upload the entire game. The internet's completely out.
Anthony Storego will try the extra point once again. Left-footed kicker. And that is no good.
Yeah, might have hit the upper facade minus the netting there. So 13-0 is our score. And my thought on that previous time, Joe, was, again, much like they've been doing every single game, 2 for 2 now to start the game with touchdowns for the Bearcats. So yet another game in which they're getting off to these lightning fast starts, and again puts the other teams in a hole early. And if you count the score of the first time these two teams met, it's now Eagles have been outscored 61-8 in almost 5 quarters.
We saw the big passing touchdown from Cologne to Ward, and there just moments ago you got a second look at that extra effort by Nasir Adams on that touchdown carry. The extra point, once again, no good. Score 13-0 in favor of Jersey as Storego gets set to send it away. And that kickoff initially bobbled by Keller. He scoops it up and was forced to retreat into a host of tacklers as he is taken down at his own 10-yard line.
Yeah, you know, the Bearcats are playing with some emphasis and with some pop, too. They are making their impression felt. Keller, like you said, had the initial bobble, and by the time he picked it up and was ready to run for it, it was tough going. Here you get a second look at it.
This is a great second look you'll get from the reverse angle as 3 or 4 Bearcats converged on Keller to take him down hard at his own 10-yard line. And the way this Jersey offense has put the ball in the end zone,
I would use him almost on.
The Eagles really need a response here on the offensive side. We thought they had a first down on drive number 1 when that holding penalty was called on 3rd down. But that was not the case. And they were backed up by a pair of penalties ahead of 4th down. They'll pitch it here on 1st down. And there's another nice tackle. This time it's Sadiq Nathaniel bringing down the ball carrier.
Yeah, DeAndre Ishmael that time, as we have a player down as well for the Eagles, one of their offensive linemen, and looks like Ishmael is getting up very slowly as well. So a pair of Eagles down, and the Bearcats are coming in, hitting hard, and that time the Eagles look to work on the line of scrimmage, Joe, because they just can't get anything going downfield.
You said it, Dave. It looks like there are 2 injured Eagles on the play. One is Eric Farrell, who plays both the offensive and the defensive line, and being helped off the field is Julius Carey as well. So 2 Eagles shaken up after that last play. And you have to think that really hurts this Maryland offense. Now, there you see the replay. It was tough to spot where the injury to Carey occurred, as it looked like maybe he just rolled his ankle near the sideline, but that's pure speculation. Andrew thinks that he rolled it up against the wall, and that very well could have been what happened, as Farrell is able to walk off under his own power over to the Maryland bench.
37 seconds left. Obviously the clock stops in this situation, although now they are rebooting it, and it'll start to advance here. As we have 35 seconds now and counting down, and this potentially could be the final play of the first quarter.
Maryland Blake's huddle for a 2nd down and 10. 2 wideouts on the field. One more in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Johnson looks right, immediately under pressure, is flushed out, and that pass is incomplete off the hands of Lloyd Meeks.
Yeah, and Johnson tried to make his own room and own space, had to get flushed out to his right. That will, in fact, be the end of the first quarter. Eagles still in a hole, and they'll face a 3rd and 10.
Bearcats offense living up to the billing through this first quarter. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. They lead Maryland 13-0 as we head to a quick break.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Pioneer Sports Incorporated, providing quality programs to underserved communities, providing team owners with support and tools to run quality programs. Visit them at pioneersportsinc.com or call 609-658-7532. And by DJ Willie Will of Spectra Sunshine Sounds. DJ Willie Will is part of the Spanish Harlem Street Jocks. Contact Willie Flores for the best DJ services at your next event. Call 212-987-5400 888-848-4425 or email scbanton40@yahoo.com. And by DG Visuals, photography by Danny Gomez. Call or email today for the DG Visual Experience, one unlike any other.
Start of the second quarter from the Waranenko Sports Complex. Jersey Bearcats leading the Maryland Eagles 13-0. This is PDF Sports Network coverage of the AAL2. Maryland looks to pass as Johnson gets up through the pocket and is not taken down. Broken tackle along the sideline as Johnson carries it out of bounds for a nice gain. He's pushed out at midfield.
No, we did say it about Johnson. Of course, Coach Valentine mentioning it to us during pregame as well. His ability to maximize open space, and that time got away from a pair of defenders, gets the critical first down and sets up the Eagles at midfield.
Bearcats had a chance to bring Johnson down just a bit sooner, as you'll see on this replay, but Johnson showing off that elusiveness and escapability in the pocket. As on that play, it was Nick Price who had a chance, but could not take Johnson down by the jersey. Two receivers to Johnson's right, man in motion on the left is Morgan. Johnson will take off again up the middle of the line, and he is tackled across the Bearcats' 20-yard line down at the 18.
Yeah, gets a nice gain of 7 yards on what I believe to be, anyway, Joe, a designed run, quarterback draw all the way. I don't believe the Eagles have any passing yards so far in this game, and I think they are getting the understanding that Johnson's going to have to carry this team offensively here in this early stages and try to get them back in this one.
First down, Maryland from the jersey 18. Johnson will look to throw this time. He fires over the middle, and once again, that was dropped by Meeks.
Yeah, a little bit behind Meeks that time, but he probably should have made that catch, especially while he was going down regardless. So now a 3rd and short here, but sure Johnson would have liked to have given Meeks a little bit of a better ball there as well.
Well, Meeks has had two really tough chances so far. First one, Johnson tried to thread the needle between two defenders. I think with that throw, he actually protected Meeks from what would have been a big hit, putting the ball a bit behind him and low. Meeks had to contort his body and could not make the grab. Second down and short here. Johnson once again looks to throw. As his line is pushed back into him, he rolls right, fires down the field, corner of the end zone, and we will see if they rule that a touchdown. They do. Touchdown Eagles. DeAndre Ishmael with the touchdown reception. Though we may have to check that. That might have been a 16, not an 18. That's Phil Morgan on the touchdown. Jersey a bit ruffled on the play, and Morgan has the catch.
Yeah, Morgan makes the catch. He's going to get flagged for a unsportsmanlike after that for kicking the ball. But either way, that score will count. And we'll see how the penalty gets assessed. And then both teams had to be separated from each other. Now, you cannot use the padding or the wall to aid your catch intentionally, but that did look like as clean a catch as you can get in that corner. I don't know if Morgan necessarily used the pads there, but either way, they've picked up the flag too, Joe. So no penalty on the play.
That was very close to being wall assisted, in my opinion. We'll see if we get a better look at it on the replay.
Yep, we'll get a slowed down replay as well from our engineer, Nick Durst.
Great job to extend this play as well by Johnson. You're not missing anything on the field here. Very close, tough to tell. I'll give it to him, 6 points. And so will the officials.
Now we believe this is a 2-point conversion and not a first and goal because the points have not been put on the board here.
They have not, as Johnson is thrown down well behind the line of scrimmage. And that was indeed a 2-point try.
Right.
So though that would have been fourth down. That would have been fourth down. So the scoreboard still says 0.
No, it is 13-6, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, now they did adjust it, yeah.
Right.
But it was actually a 3rd down and 3, because remember the 7-yard gain after that quarterback
that
draw.
That snap was 2nd and 3, not 3rd and 3.
I believe it was 3rd and 3, because then we had the incomplete pass that was dropped.
Okay, so that would have been 4th down. If that wasn't a 2-point try.
Correct,
okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I was speculating.
Right.
So nonetheless, the points do go up on the board. Bit delayed here at Warananko, but it is now 13-6. Jersey over Maryland. And Dave, that's the kind of drive the Eagles really needed.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And, give credit to Johnson for really making his own room, converting that big 1st down at midfield to really get the kind of momentum back into the Eagles' favor. And they really needed that touchdown. They only scored the one score and the 2-point conversion in the first game that these two teams played. That was only 2 weeks ago in Maryland.
To be a way to kick off from the Eagles here, as right now there's 2 footballs on the field and Maryland is short. A couple of players on special teams, and they will rectify that here. As the clock is running, we approach 9 minutes to play in quarter number 2. 1-score game. Bearcats over the Eagles by 7. As Morgan will kick it off, and it's a very awkward positioning of the football. I'm not sure I've seen that before. As that skips up the field, and that is off the fingertips of Ward. He's having trouble picking it up, and he does clear the end zone. Has blocking in front of him. A flag flies, and Ward goes down at about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, the negative part of a play like that, if you're the Eagles, is now you have all this over pursuit converging on Ward, and he was almost able to round it to the outside and take off with that, but looks like there will be a flag nonetheless, and the Bearcats are going to start in the shadow of their own end zone either way. So you mentioned the unorthodox kick, Joe, but that really took a great Eagles bounce. That just kept bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and then took the biggest bounce of all right in front of Ward. Look at that.
Eagles very nearly put a point on the scoreboard there, but given that there were only 2 red jerseys in front of the end zone to block, they did a pretty good job of staving off the pursuit of that Maryland special teams unit. And good blocking up the field, I thought, might spring Ward free all the way to the end zone.
So instead, they'll have to start at their own 5-yard line here, Joe, and the Bearcats very seldom find themselves this deep in their own territory. Let's see what they make out of it.
3 receivers to Cologne's right on this play. In motion is Savridis. Cologne looking towards Savridis. Airs one out down the field, and it is just over the outstretched arms of Savridis and Jerome Person, who is there in coverage.
Yeah, Stephen Cologne would like to have that back, but that was perhaps a little bit rushed by Cologne because he was getting rushed and had to kind of make his own space in the pocket. That pocket was not clean. Otherwise, he might have had a quick 6 there. That looked like a play very similar to when they ran against the United Firepower last week. But you could see Cologne's toss on the run is not really a bad one, just maybe a yard or 2 off its mark.
And Person was there, step for step, with Savridis. That was anyone's ball if it was on target. And that will set up a 2nd down and 10 following the incompletion.
This roof is unforgiving too, Joe. Got to get it underneath the netting.
Not much room to put air under the ball as Cologne is taken down. May have been helped down by his own man there.
Well, he got about 4 or 5 on the play, so cuts the distance in half at least. And again, it looked like all the red jerseys were 25, 30 yards down the field. There really was no safety valve for Cologne on that play, as once again, they worked the hurry up.
That was Raphael McCray on the tackle for Maryland. Once again, a man in motion pre-snap. Cologne looks that way. Airs one out down the field, but that ball is overthrown in the direction of Dante Owens, who was wide open.
Yeah, he was. He had a clean 2 or 3 steps on the defender, and that was just a miss and a misfire there. But, now on 4th down, you'd expect the Bearcats to go for it. And how's this for a huge play for this Eagles defense? You find yourself down by 2 scores. You get a touchdown back and a chance here, if they could stop the Bearcats, to get the ball back maybe even potentially 1st and goal. Too far for a kick.
I didn't expect them
kick
to punt, but I thought they might think about it.
Yeah.
4th down and 5. Cologne sends a man in motion up the field. That's Owens. He's looking to throw. Fires toward Owens, who is open. And this time, Cologne makes no mistake on the throw. He hits Owens in stride. 1st down, Bearcats.
Absolutely. And Owens has a few more words for number 22, Jerome Person, who he was locked up with. The Bearcats want to go quickly, but even on that play, Joe, I'm like, there's no way they're going to go down the field in this one. This will be dropped in 5-10 yards. Nope. Bearcats do not change the game plan, and they hit a big one.
They've kept Person very busy on this drive as they pitch it left. And Adams bounces off a tackle and takes it toward the goal line and in for a Jersey touchdown.
Great 2nd and 3rd effort by Adams. He's pumped up, and he deserves to be there. He got the pitch out, and really good pursuit by the Eagles to get to him. He had to make a couple of guys miss, but what a change in momentum, Joe. You go from having a 4th and 5 at your own 10, a chance for the Eagles to get the ball back, potentially even 1st and goal the other way. You hit that big play. One play later, you're in the end zone, and you have a 2-score lead again.
Well, stop on 4th down by the Eagles really changes the complexion of this game. Instead, we're basically right back where we were about 10 minutes ago when Jersey led by 2 scores. Now, there are only 4 minutes remaining in this first half as the Bearcats have called timeout. If you're the Eagles and you can score on your next drive, you put yourselves in a position to potentially tie the game at the start of half number 2. If you're Jersey on the other side of things and you get a stop, you put yourselves in a really good position entering the second half, a 2-score lead against this Bearcats team, typically a lead that's very tough to overcome.
Yeah, 100%. And, 4 minutes left in this half is actually a lot of time, especially given the fact that the clock will stop inside of a minute to play and at the 1-minute warning. So there's still time here for 2, maybe even 3 drives. We've seen it with our own eyes. And, this game obviously not out of the woods yet, but the Bearcats, once again, just teams have a hard time just stopping them offensively, especially in first halves of games. We've seen them come out and put up a lot of points in the first half.
Bearcats will go for 2 here, leading by 13. Cologne with 3 receivers to his right, airs one out for the back of the end zone, and that is intercepted. No run back. And the Eagles appear to be unsure as to why.
Yeah, Meek certainly wanted to run it back, and they are arguing their case. Now, we've seen extra point attempts that have been blocked that have been unable to be returned, but I was of the opinion that you could send that one back. But either way, it's a missed conversion for the second time for the Bearcats, one on the point after and one on the 2-point conversion as we get another look at it. But as a...
Well, Dave, I'm not sure if you're a lip reader, but that looked an awful lot like my fault on the mouth of the referee.
Possibly.
Nick says they're not allowed to run it back.
Yeah, and they are definitely discussing it. A.J. Roque in that pile and some of the Eagles players as well voicing their opinion. Tate was arguing for the call along with Johnson, but the Eagles are going to get this ball back down by 13 points. Now the clock is still running. You see it on your screen and officially here at the arena.
Well, Nick said they were over the back line, but is there a back line in the end zone? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think so either.
I think anything inside the boards is in play. So I thought.
Well, if it happens again, we'll know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Jersey will kick off here as the clock is now stopped at 3:02. Not sure when the official stopped it.
Well, now they restarted. I guess maybe the official just needed time to get to his place.
Storego sends it away. Backpedaling is Meeks. Meeks takes it toward the near side, accelerates up the field. Meeks has one man to beat, and he beats him up the sideline as he is taken down into the boards. but not short of the goal line. Touchdown Eagles. Lloyd Meeks returns the kickoff for 6, and Maryland is right back within 1 score.
That was a gorgeous run by Meeks, who really was very patient, Joe. And I think step one is you need to field it clean, and he did. And that was a great job. Then a little bit of a stutter step, couple of decisions to make, and I love turning it back up into the inside. You'll see it here. Starts off with the clean fielding, and then that cut right inside, right there, between the 2 red jerseys, and a great job here.
Well, I thought I saw a hold there, Dave. Just saying.
Yeah, well, might get another look at it, maybe slow down where you want it slowed down, but certainly there's a lot of traffic in there. It's easy to miss.
Was it a Jersey player grabbing the jersey of an Eagle or the other way around? Eagles will go for 2 here. Thompson to throw over the middle, and I believe that was his eligible offensive lineman making the catch. Latrec Moore for 2, and that makes it a 5-point game as we wind down toward 90 seconds to play in this first half.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like the Eagles will be kicking point after attempts, but right now they are 1 for 2 via the 2-point conversion, so a 14-point spot, which almost doubles their entire offensive output 2 weeks ago against this Bearcats team, as you saw the conversion attempt there for the second time. But, you know, for all the success the Bearcats have had offensively, great job here by the Eagles to respond, not once but twice, as we get another look.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They missed the hold for sure, and that had a profound impact on that return.
Yeah, Will Robinson, the victim of that hold, but they get away.
It's not a hold if they don't call it.
Right, exactly.
I'm sure the Bearcats might have something to say about that one.
Right. And I'm
you
sure
really can't blame them.
And I'm sure when the Eagles go back and watch this one, Joe, they'll point out how wrong we were at our call up here in the booth.
I don't think so. I have a feeling that they'll know they got away with one, and they will take it.
Joe, we should mention that that last play marked the 1-minute warning as well. So the clock is stopped here, and I don't know if you could see the way the ball is resting, but you called it last time, Joe. The ball flat.
On its side.
And that one I thought was out of play. Yes, that one went out of play at about the 16-yard line.
And that is where they will spot it. Looks like perhaps the 18. So the Eagles did what they needed to do. They scored a touchdown. The question is, did they leave the Bearcats with too much time? 1 minute remaining in this first half. We've seen what this Jersey offense can do. I believe the Bearcats have used 1 timeout, so they should have 2 remaining by our count, as is reflected on your screen. Did Maryland leave Jersey too much time here?
Well, I think every player on the Bearcats bench to a man would probably say they have an eternity to score here. 56 seconds, they'll take it for sure. And I think the argument in question is, do they leave any time for the Eagles after this drive? You know, if you're A.J. Roque, you'd love to get 6, 7, 8 points on this drive and call it a half.
Cologne sends Ward in motion up the field. Slot position. He throws that way. Ward is open, and Ward makes the catch for a Bearcats touchdown.
Yeah, and there is really no excuse for the Eagles. I mean, the Bearcats are running around wide open in the deep secondary, Joe. Ward had a good 3 or 4 steps on the nearest defensive back, which was Meeks on the play. But that's the second or third time we've seen a red jersey all by themselves, and that's just too easy.
Well, Dave, the motion man has been the primary read on just about every play that they've sent a man in motion. And that's a great job there by Cologne to avoid hitting the ceiling with that ball. Now, keep in mind, if you're running a route as a receiver and you run too far to the sideline, that makes it tough on the quarterback to keep that ball from hitting the netting. So that ball led the receiver, Ward, toward the middle of the field, and he made the catch for the touchdown. The clock has been stopped at 51 seconds here at Waranenko, so there is time for the Eagles. Handoff goes to Savridis, and that's a nice tackle on that play to take him down. Now, we don't have an 87 on the roster. You have an 87 on the original roster, Dave, so you can share that.
Could have been Alex Sandrowitz who made the play, although on my roster, Sandrowitz is listed as a wide receiver. But either way, that was a nice tackle. And for Socrates, he kind of hesitated a little bit, didn't know which hole, if he should go up the middle or bats to the outside. So that little bit of indecision makes it only an 11-point lead for the Bearcats. But still, just a great job for both teams now responding offensively to the others. It's like a heavyweight match right now. Ever since the Bearcats took that opening 13-point lead, it's been 14-12 since, and seen a total of 6 touchdowns so far.
Well, I posed the question before. Did the Eagles leave the Bearcats with too much time? And you responded by saying, will the Bearcats leave the Eagles some time? Right. The answer is yes.
That drive, 7 seconds, Joe.
Can't score much quicker than that, unless you're scoring as time expires.
Yeah. And the Eagles' last drive wasn't a drive. They ran back the kickoff for a touchdown. So that's on the table here as well.
Maryland with 3 timeouts as they will get the football back. Clock at 49.3 as that was initially bobbled and then taken by Kashawn Burrell, and he's taken down just short of midfield.
Still, though, good place to start here with just under 45 seconds remaining in the first half. If you're the Eagles, you kind of like this. You have plenty of room for your offense to work around here. Plenty of plays that they can run inside of 45 seconds. And again, the game within a game is, do you walk into halftime having cut this lead down and potentially be only down by a score, or do you leave time on the clock for the Bearcats to respond?
I think first and foremost, if you're the Eagles in this spot, you want to make sure that you score on this drive. If they don't score, the odds of Jersey having a lot of time left is slim. They would have to throw 3 very quick incomplete passes to leave Jersey with a lot of time. That being said, Jersey doesn't need much time. So you have to be very careful here if you're the Eagles, but you have to try and score. No question about it.
Of course, and down by 11 points, obviously. They've been able to cut away at the lead, and they obviously don't want to fall into any further of a hole.
Chance of defense from the Jersey supporters here at Waranenko. As Johnson throws right, that is complete. A flag is out on the play as the receiver, Ishmael, was gang tackled at the end of that play. A flag is down and the clock is stopped at 36.1.
Right, and that happened right in the middle of the field. There was a collision, or one of the wideouts felt like they were held in the middle of the field, and that might have forced Johnson to look to his outlet on the sideline. They will discuss. Coaches will have their says, but Coach Ja and Coach AJ overruled, and they'll march this one further.
Discussion ongoing at the 20-yard line of the Bearcats here. And Jersey looks unhappy as it appears they're going to move the Eagles' offense up, and I think they just moved them up 15 yards.
Well, I think they moved them up 10 from the original line of scrimmage, Joe.
Okay.
So either they added 5 onto that gain, or the penalty was 10 yards.
Right. Nonetheless, first down and 10. Clock running toward 30 seconds. Johnson steps forward, has room to run, cuts to the outside. What a move by Johnson, who was tackled just outside of the 10. Timeout, Eagles.
And he got destroyed by Joey Ramirez at the end of that play, right in the small of the back. Ramirez kind of over-pursued to start that. He actually had great pursuit on Johnson. I thought he was going to have a chance to sack him, but we know how elusive Johnson is. He stepped up to the pocket, but then Ramirez caught up to him. Look at the pursuit by Ramirez, and then he never gives up on the play. And then bang, he just really laid a shot into Johnson.
Looked like a WWE spear from behind. I know how much you love wrestling.
Yes. I'll leave it at that.
You didn't get the hint. Dave does not love wrestling.
I hate wrestling. I don't hate many things. I hate wrestling. That's not going to make me popular with our audience. Maybe some will, but it's it's that ageless debate among us and among society out there. Who's on what side of the fence? I'm on the outside of the fence.
They call me Chief, and I'm a fan of the spear, so you can put 2 and 2 together. Maybe not you, Dave, but our viewers. We'll leave it at that. 21.4 remaining in this first half as Maryland continues to march toward the end zone. Second down snap upcoming. Looks like about 4 or 5 to go. Johnson fakes left, throws over the middle, and that's intercepted. Chance for a run back here. Sadiq Nathaniel up the sideline. Has blocking, and he is gone. Pick 6, Sadiq Nathaniel, and the Bearcats jump ahead by 3 scores.
And pretty much wire to wire, he went 50 yards with the clock sounding 0 as well. Will they put a second or 2 back on? Well, they're going to have to line up for the point after anyway, but man, what a turnaround that was. We'll get another look at it here. The pump fake by Johnson and the step in front by Nathaniel.
When he released that ball, I thought he had his man in the end zone, but he was eyeing Marcus Morgan all the way, and I think Nathaniel followed the quarterback's eyes on that one, jumped the route, and then, of course, took it all the way for the touchdown. And I said it before, Dave, Maryland had to do everything they could to score. If there was one thing they could not afford, that was it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that is a huge, huge swing. You go from a chance to cut the lead to single digits and 1 score, and you're going to go into halftime at the minimum down by 2+ scores.
It is a 17-point game now. So it is already a 3-score game in favor of the Bearcats. They're looking for 2 more here on this conversion attempt. Owens was in motion pre-snap as that pass falls incomplete between 3 Jersey receivers.
Still a 3-score lead going into halftime, and that's exactly what you'd like about the Bearcats. You know, maybe it wasn't the cleanest way to, cleanest first half, but, you know, they get the defensive touchdown, and what a response for the Bearcats, and what a lead going into halftime. No lead is safe in arena football, but that's about as good as end as any.
A lot of twists and turns late in that first half. We had several scores over just the last couple of minutes, and it is the Bearcats leading by 17 as we head to break. Our score, Jersey 31 and Maryland 14. When we come back, the second half from the Waranenko Sports Complex. This is PDF Sports Network coverage of the American Arena League 2.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at TotalPerformanceBodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email Dave Riemann at rcn.com.
New Jersey Urban News is a voice for the voiceless. Breaking news, health and wellness, business, the arts, and the latest local sports. As a black news source in the Garden State, New Jersey Urban News is dedicated to covering New Jersey's vibrant African-American community through informative stories and thorough coverage. New Jersey Urban News covers stories often overlooked by mainstream media, impacting the 1.3 million people that make up New Jersey's black community. Visit them today at njurbannews.com. Today's broadcast is being sponsored by the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Junior ROTC, and the Crusaders, a winning combination of enterprise, leadership, innovation, courage, and commitment. Learn more about the U.S. Army and ROTC programs by visiting goarmy.com and at usarmyjrotc.com. Become a part of our winning team through enrollment, employment, and leadership opportunities. Be all you can be with the Army and Army ROTC. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Three Bleezies Entertainment Group on the Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Catch the Three Bleezies weekly show, as well as live recordings and all the opinions and the unfiltered hot topics you've come to love about semi-pro. It's the resource for semi-pro football and more, from the official source for all things Bleezy. The Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Visit and follow now. Mundo, yeah, yeah.
Unique Resin Design specializes in home decor with one-of-a-kind handcrafted resin products, perfect for your home and any place you love. Perfect for gifts and parties, let Imani Green dazzle you with inspirational creations you can get at only one place, Unique Resin Designs. Visit us at uniqueresindesign.com and learn how to get free shipping on your next order.
Lila Keys Photography. To capture the very best memories, let Lila Keys Photography be your answer for maternity and milestone photos, family portraits, events, and graduations. From simple headshots to action-packed sports photography, Lila Keys Photography preserves your greatest moments and achievements. Reach out at lilakeys21@gmail.com or reach out via Instagram at Lila Keys.
We are back here halftime between the Maryland Eagles and the Jersey Bearcats. The Bearcats, courtesy of a last-second defensive touchdown by Sadiq Nathaniel, gives the Bearcats a 3-score lead as opposed to what could have been just a 1-score lead with the Eagles driving. David Pizzuto alongside Joe Foreman, who has stepped away from the broadcast for just a moment. Now, what you're seeing on your screen are the U10 and U12 players. And on the mic is Stefan Colon. Now, we were anticipating hearing from Chris Lopez, the head coach of these teams and the organization that they are a part of. So we will see if Chris comes on to the headset, and we will have a couple of quick words with Chris. But Chris and Stefan Colon have a youth football organization, and those youths are currently on the screen playing their halftime game and entertaining the crowd. Flag football. We plan to have that on PDF Sportsnet as well. A little bit later, potentially next fall or even next spring. That's something that is on our agenda as well. So we will continue to stay with you here during halftime. The Bearcats scored the first 13 points of the first half before a response was made by the Eagles, and the Eagles got it to within a score on a couple of occasions, had the ball in their possession with the score 25-14 at the opposing 15-yard line of the Bearcats, and an interception, 50-yard return by Sadiq Nathaniel right at the buzzer made it a 17-point game. So what we will do is we will step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll break down the second half, the first half a little bit more, and get you ready for half number two. We'll be right back. It's the Bearcats and Eagles here at halftime.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
Life insurance is a benefit you and your loved ones need. Buying it early means lower premiums, higher benefits, security, and peace of mind. At I'm Covered Life Insurance, you get a personal touch from Anthony M. Royster, whose primary purpose is to provide proper protection. Unsure of how to start or want the keys to a sound financial plan? Call Anthony at I'm Covered Life Insurance at 267-323-9632 or email aroyster at amrimcovered.com.
Warananko Sports Center is the official home of the Jersey Bearcats and is proud to welcome the AAL2. Located at One Park Drive in Roselle, Warananko is available for parties and rentals, public skating in the winter, and camps and activities each spring and summer. Visit us at waranankopark.com to learn more about our rink, indoor dining and party area, and all that beautiful Warananko Park has to offer. waranankopark.com or call 908-298-7849.
Arena football fans, make sure you keep up with the latest news and information from the AAL and AAL2 all year long at AmericanArenaLeague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and follow all of the AAL2 teams to keep up with the latest league happenings and stay connected. Want to sponsor the AAL and AAL2? Contact us at info@AmericanArenaLeague.com. We'll see you at the arena.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats would like to thank Von Seals Veggies and Seafood, official food sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats game day. Von Seals Food Truck is available for bookings at vvsfoodtruck@gmail.com, specializing in the most delicious seafood with the freshest of vegetables made to order. Follow Chef Supreme and Von Seals on Facebook to see where we are serving the best plant and pescatarian food near you.
And we are back from the Warananko Sports Complex, just about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half in this AAL2 matchup between the Maryland Eagles and the Jersey Bearcats. We do expect to be joined by Bearcats head coach A.J. Roque ahead of halftime, so we await Coach Roque ahead of the start of quarter number 3. This is Joe Foreman alongside David Pizzuto. And Dave, what stood out to you in half number 1?
The amazing start by the Bearcats. One play, one touchdown to start the game. Doesn't get any better than that if you're a Bearcats fan. Their defense made enough plays, and of course, they started the game well, and they ended the half well with that 50-yard interception return to kind of seize back full momentum of this game. And of course, the questions we always have with the Bearcats, Joe, is their first halves have been great. Can they play the entire 60 minutes, and can the Eagles claw their way back into this one? So this half, obviously, a lot of things can still happen and are still on the table.
The Eagles had the football in Jersey territory, trailing 25-14, but a pick six by Sadiq Nathaniel completely changed the complexion of this game, took it all the way back for a touchdown, and that gave the Bearcats the 3-possession lead they now hold. As we have just 60 seconds to go before the start of the third quarter, There is a youth football game, a youth flag football game going down on the field right now, being emceed by the Bearcats' very own quarterback, Stephen Colon.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I remarked at halftime, Joe, was that this is the U10 and U12 teams of the Pioneer organization with which Stephen is a part of, along with his partner, Chris Lopez. We were expecting to talk to Chris Lopez at halftime. He could not make it with us. Pioneers are a big part of the AAL2 and, of course, are big sponsors of the Jersey Bearcats. So great to see the kids having a lot of fun. And there's some talent on these teams, Joe. I have a feeling in, 8, 10, 12 years, we're going to be seeing them on these fields with us.
No question about it. I think this group would have given us a run for our money. We took the field in flag football action a couple of weeks ago. Faculty and staff versus students back where we work on Staten Island. Flag football, always a good time, and the kids certainly enjoying it. As we have the final play before the clock expires, jump ball tipped and incomplete. As you didn't see it on your screen, but that brings the scrimmage at halftime to a close. Great job by Stephen Colon as the MC. You see him at the center of your screen, greeting Eagles quarterback Christopher Johnson. And minus that pick six, Johnson played pretty well in that first half. He gave his receivers a chance to several passes into very tight windows and made some good plays with his legs.
Yeah, and I don't believe the Eagles had a passing yard in the first quarter. So I think Johnson knew that if he had to get his offense back in this game, he was going to have to do it on his own. And that's exactly what he did via his legs. He was able to make some time in the pocket. They used the line of scrimmage a little bit more. And then when he's had the opportunity to bolt out, he has. And I remember he gave them a really big first down at midfield. It was on a third down. He was able to get the first, and that got the Eagles going on their first touchdown drive of the half. So Johnson did a really great job in that first half. Of course, he would love to have that last throw back to end the first half. And we'll see if the Eagles can scratch their way back into this one.
And you have to think that pass was in large part a product of the situation. The Eagles knew they needed a touchdown. They knew they might have to take some chances in the closing seconds of that second quarter. And Johnson certainly took a chance on that throw. And Sadiq Nathaniel was all over it. As I said at the time, it looked like Nathaniel was reading the quarterback's eyes on that play. Very limited space down in that corner near the boards, and Nathaniel was able to undercut that route. Credit to the other players on defense as well. They gave him some great blocking. He was able to reverse field and take it up the far sideline and in for a touchdown. So credit to the Bearcats for their blocking on that play as well. Their defense continues to play well, something we've seen all season long here at home.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. In the arena game, it's easy to kind of lose track of the defense, right? It's kind of an offensive game. The offensive, players get most of the spotlight, but we've seen in every single game the defenses have made big, sometimes even spectacular plays. Way back in week 1 when we thought the Steel City Stampede was out of it, they forced that fumble at the end, are able to generate a last-second score out of that. The amazing a couple of interceptions we saw in the game against the Warriors here that the Bearcats had. Defenses steal the show in small spurts in these games, but they usually pay tremendous dividends.
And it certainly did that for the Bearcats late in that first half with just a few seconds remaining in the half. Jersey was able to take that pick six in for a touchdown, and they lead it by 17 as the start of the second half is just a bit delayed here as there was a photo opportunity at midfield. Each of the young athletes being presented with looks like a framed plaque as well, so very nice to do that for the youngsters out there on the field participating in that halftime scrimmage. But in just a few moments, the second half will get underway from Warananko Sports Complex, and it will be the Eagles receiving the second half kickoff from Jersey. Maryland needs a score on their opening drive here in half number 2.
They sure do, and we'll see what this second half has to offer us. And it looks like A.J. Roca is going to come on headset here, Joe.
So a very quick word from the Bearcats head coach. Coach, we talk a lot about your offense. Huge play by your defense late in that first half. How big was that?
Oh, that was huge. That was our first time, ending a half like that. Against the Western Maryland Warriors, they scored right before half. That was a killer. We've had INTs and stuff, but never to end the half like that. That was huge. Grab momentum.
AJ, after, first 30 minutes, your team up by 3 scores. Name of the game has been playing a complete 60 minutes. What'd you tell the team in the locker room to make sure you get out of here with the win?
First thing I said, we walked in, that was sloppy, right? And everybody agreed. So we got to play these 30 minutes like it's 0-0. Like our life depends on it. Yeah, we're up 31-14, but for our standards, it's just not enough. That first half was sloppy.
Coach, thanks for taking the time to join us. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
That is Bearcats head coach A.J. Rowe, kind enough to join us as the action had resumed in this second half. Opening kickoff went to the Eagles, and they brought it back into Bearcats territory. They will start this drive from the Jersey 19-yard line. So good starting field position for Maryland as they look to get back to within 2 scores.
Yeah, and, between what A.J. just told us, Joe, about, it's a 0-0 game. You got to play crisp. Let's see how both of these teams here treat this really big first drive of the second half.
3 receivers on the field for the Eagles. And that pass into traffic over the middle and intercepted off of the deflection. What a play. I believe that was Sadiq Palmer with the INT. Another play for this defense.
Yeah, we've seen Sadiq pick him off right here at Waranenko against the Warriors. He had 1. He had 3 the week before that, and that was all the case of the tip drill. Looked like the ball was thrown a little bit late into traffic, but from start to finish, that's Palmer. What a look by our crew here. And just like that, the Bearcats get the ball back.
Can't get a much better view than that, as we'll get a second look on the wide shot. And we were just waiting for the signal from the back judge, who indeed rules that pass was intercepted. And with that, the Eagles squander great starting field position. The Bearcats will be backed up at their own 2-yard line. So the Maryland defense needs to make a stand here.
Yeah, and again, we saw the Bearcats convert a big 4th down from this deep in their own end for what was a big momentum shift in the first half. This is the second time that the Eagles have them backed up.
Cologne looks to throw, fires right a bit high, but it's brought in by Owens, who shoves away a tackler and is then driven into the boards. Good recovery there by Jerome Person.
Yeah, close to the first down to move the sticks, but that time not going for the home run, but taking what is given to them underneath as the Bearcats continue to work quickly.
Bearcats go without a huddle. Second down coming up as Jersey snaps it from their own 8-yard line. Cologne looks to throw, and his first read was not there as he is sacked on that play. Ryan Stanley brings him down, and that will set up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, I think Cologne definitely wanted to go into the direction of Ward, who was on the near sideline, but Ward was still working into his route and would not have been expecting that ball. So Cologne, no other opportunity to just tuck it down, and he was tripped up. Nice defensive play there and a product of the rush on Cologne.
Strong hands there by Cologne as well. Very easily could have lost that football as he brought it down following that fake and was hit soon after. 3rd and long. And that's a fumbled snap. Cologne rolls to his right, and he tried to flip it away as he was tossed into the boards. We'll see what the ruling is. The Eagles want a safety, and they get it. Well, huge play by the Maryland defense, and they will get it back, trailing by just 2 possessions.
We will see it. We will probably see it in slow motion as well, Joe, but both teams had a chance to kind of argue their case in those precious seconds after that throw. The officials convened, and they called it a safety, which means that Cologne was in the grasp when he got rid of this. Let's see. I could see it. If you want to protect the quarterback there, you say that he's down, but certainly looked like he was in the motion of tossing it away.
Well, Dave, did that toss reach the line of scrimmage? And does it matter on his way down to the turf?
Well, we're going to get another look at it here from the reverse angle. Might even be the better one, as Chris Deanna might have been sandwiched on this one. Yeah, we lost control of him.
Boy, oh boy. Watch out.
Well, we tell Chris, stay in the corners, out of the way. Well, he stood in the corner. He was right in the way.
I don't think he expected that one.
Lost in that, Joe, is that takes this game from being a 3-score game to a 2-score game, and the Eagles get the ball back. So it's 15 points instead of 17 points, and it's actually a pretty huge 2 points right there for the Eagles.
That's a massive play in this game, especially if the Eagles manage to score. Kickoff was initially muffed, and it's stripped away. Diving on top of it and covering it up is Keller, as we do have a flag on the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job by the Bearcats there, stripping away at that football, and a good job by Keller to kind of double back on his hands and knees and get that ball back into their possession. Now we'll see what the flag is. It'll be an illegal block in the back by the Eagles. So if that was indeed a fumble recovered by the Bearcats, they would have had possession, but a good job there by Keller to go back and grab.
These AAL2 footballs take some very weird bounces. You have to be always alert out there, head on a swivel at all times.
Yeah, we don't mention this much, but it's also a very small carpet down there, Joe. There's only about an inch and a quarter of turf down there that's sitting pretty much on a concrete slab where the ice is usually poured. So it's almost like it's bouncing. I don't want to say it's bouncing on concrete, but it kind of has that effect at times.
Let's put it this way.
Not a lot of give.
I would not want to be tackled on that turf.
Right.
No tackle football for me anymore. Under 8.5 minutes to play, third quarter. The Eagles trail by 2 possessions. 15-point game. Johnson wants to throw. Under pressure, rolls to his right, looks up the field, and is able to pick up a few extra yards there rather than ducking out of bounds, as we do have a flag in the area of holding.
Yeah, that time Claude Jones-Jules was being held right in front of us, Joe. We will get to see it if we get the replay. We'll see it right in front of us. Jules tries to extend. He wears number 61 on the play. You'll get to see it. But either way, they're going to back him up here to be first down and 20 when we come back after this.
Second look at that last play coming up right here, as you'll see the hold right at the bottom of the screen. And indeed a hold, and that will back up the Maryland offense. Once again, Johnson looks to throw, fakes, spins, nearly lost the football, gets away, makes a move toward the near side, and they're going to call a face mask on that play.
Yes, sir. And again, Johnson makes a heck of a play. He was in the grasp of John Kennedy, who was just activated this week by the Bearcats, fresh off of his stint professionally with the Columbus Lions. He thought he had a sack, potentially even a safety, but great job by Johnson to get out. And then you'll see the late face mask come in here. There it is, the yank by Price.
And that is the second huge broken tackle by Johnson in this game to keep the play alive. He has done a great job avoiding the rush. He's been under a lot of pressure in this game. Credit to that Bearcats defensive line. They have not made things easy for Johnson at quarterback, but he's been up to the task so far.
So they've added 5 yards onto the end of that rush and an automatic first down. So the ball, he's about at the 22-yard line here to start this one.
The officials look like they'll continue to converse as they're going to move this one up a bit further now.
Yeah, so 10 yards after the run will put the ball on the Bearcats side of the field.
Here's a look at the angle from the end zone on that last play. Pitch to the left out of the gun. And there is a massive hit that dislodged the helmet of Phil Morgan. What a shot by Nick Price.
Well, Price got the face mask on the previous play, took the whole helmet off legally on that play. What a hit by Price.
And we will certainly get another look at that one. We've seen some big hits throughout this game. Add another to the list right there. Here's a second look. Our entire crew is huddled around the monitor right now.
Yep.
What a shot.
And that's one of those hits, unfortunately, on the replay, you don't get to hear the hit. But if you had your eyes closed, you can hear the hit as well. I knew it was a big one.
Good clean tackle as well.
Yeah, that being said, they did get a yard on that play.
Price led with the body, not the helmet. And that angle gives you a great look at it. Once again, the Eagles look to pass. Short completion goes to the left. And Ishmael will be stood up. Forward progress stopped at about the 20-yard line of the Bearcats.
Yeah, and you get the sense here, Joe, as we're entering now more than midway through the third quarter, that the Eagles just don't have a lot going on, 20, 30 yards down the field. They are going to either need the legs of Johnson, or they're going to need something to happen at the line of scrimmage or developing, with short passes down the field.
Third down. Throw goes to the right. Low throw, incomplete. That will set up a 4th down and about 6.
Yeah, good job that time by the Bearcats to catch up to that play and, lay the hit there on Morgan. Break up that play, and another big 4th down here. Bearcats, looking to make another stop here in this half.
Perhaps a long 7 in this spot, but nonetheless, the Eagles in desperate need of this 1st down as we draw closer to the end of the third quarter. Bearcats lead by 15. Keller in motion. Johnson looking to run, leaps through 2 tackles and gets away as he is taken down inside the 5.
Great play by Johnson. He was on a mission, Joe. He looked down the field, gave it 1 second, maybe even 2 beats, and after that he was gone. He went right through the heart of the line and really threw a couple of Bearcats would-be tacklers.
I don't think he has it without that leap either. That was the difference maker. And the elusiveness of Johnson on full display yet again, as the Eagles are now within a few yards of making this a 1-possession game. They will need a 2-point conversion to make this a 1-score game. Johnson, nowhere to go, throws it away into the netting, and had a teammate thrown into the boards for his trouble, one of his linemen.
Yeah, and this is where the positioning on the field kind of works against Johnson, right? Because there he goes to his right side. He's looking to maybe buy himself some more room, but there just really isn't much happening there. And when you limit yourself to one side of the field and you only have about 5 yards of real estate, he had really no choice but to throw it out of the arena, essentially, and live another day.
There are a lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage down in this area of the field, and that makes it very difficult on an offense that has relied heavily on the legs of their quarterback to this point. 2 receivers to Johnson's left on this play. He takes the snap, throws short to his right, and this play looks broken, but instead falling down and stumbling into the boards was Marcus Morgan. I'm not exactly sure what was supposed to happen on that play. It looks like there is some confusion. Dave, perhaps you have some more clarity.
Well, I was looking at the replay the monitor the entire time, and I'm wondering if that first throw was a forward pass or not, or whether the intention was for Morgan to come around and maybe even throw it to the back of the end zone. I'm not sure. It looked like it was almost like a lateral there, and just was nothing going on.
In
that
real
play
time,
looked
I thought
strange,
it was a forward
and
pass.
it ended strange. Looked strange, ended stranger.
That's an unusual one.
But you almost think that this is almost a better area of the field to work with for Johnson.
I agree. It looked like Jersey was trying to call timeout. They do not get it. And is Johnson in?
I think so.
He is. Though it was a very half-hearted touchdown signal by the official, that run is good for 6. And as we wind down toward the end of the third quarter, the Eagles are back to within 9. And Dave, they have not yet attempted an extra point. They will need this 2-point try to make it a 1-score game.
Yeah, and Price is arguing the case that they shoved him out of bounds before he got in, but they're going to lose that battle. And for the Eagles, who have not even attempted a point after, they are undoubtedly going to go for 2 in what will probably be the final play of the third quarter. And this will make things very interesting here, the difference between a 1-score or 2-score game.
This is a huge play for this Maryland offense late, as we will switch sides for the start of the fourth quarter.
Well, they're going to allow the play to happen, Joe, with 0 on the clock.
All right, we will not switch sides. Man in motion, Keller. Snap is fumbled, and that play goes nowhere, as that was absolutely a design quarterback run. Johnson is taken down. It remains a 2-score game. And with a quick message from our sponsors, we will take a break and get back to you in time for the start of the fourth quarter.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Pioneer Sports Incorporated, providing quality programs to underserved communities, providing team owners with support and tools to run quality programs. Visit them at pioneersportsinc.com or call 609-658-7532. And by DJ Willie Will of Spectra Sunshine Sounds. DJ Willie Will is part of the Spanish Harlem Street Jocks. Contact Willie Flores for the best DJ services at your next event. Call 212-987-4425 or email scbanton40@yahoo.com.
And by DG Visuals, photography by Danny Gomez. Call or email today for the DG Visual Experience, one unlike any other.
And we are back from the Waranenko Sports Complex here in Roselle. Another thank you to all of our sponsors. You heard from some of them during that last commercial break. Plenty of great sponsors of our broadcast of Jersey Bearcats Arena football, as that is kicked straight out of bounds once again. And they will spot this one at the 14-yard line of the Bearcats. So, Dave, that last 2-point try could have made it a 1-score game. That play obviously did not go how the Eagles intended. Once again, they now need their defense to come up with a big stop.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they've gotten them so far. You know, they pitched a shutout in the third quarter, 8-0, essentially what was a touchdown and what you could argue would have been a 2-point conversion, only they got the 2 points the hard way via the safety. But now a chance for their defense to make a stand. They still have to score twice in this game without what we believe is a kicking game, because they haven't attempted a field goal or an extra point. So you'd have to think they're 2 touchdowns away.
It's hard to believe the Bearcats have been stopped just once and only lead by 9.
Right.
Handoff on the first play of this drive, as bouncing off a tackle was Adams. Cologne got thrown to the turf behind the play, as we have a flag down. I don't believe that was the reason why.
I don't know. That play came out very late, much after Cologne was put to the ground. You wonder if there's a holding here, as Adams was trying to manufacture some time there behind the line of scrimmage. Either way, they're discussing it and explaining it. But there's the shove.
I think Cologne sold that one a bit.
He might have. And they are going to advance this ball.
So what was the call? Was it for that hit? There's no way.
I don't know, Joe, because it looked like as soon as Cologne went down, the official went into his pocket. And it was only much later that he actually threw it.
That was the reason.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well,
that's a big call.
It is a big call. An automatic first down, though, so they'll just kind of replay first down just 10 yards further up the field.
Cologne will look to throw here. Owens wide open left sideline, cuts to the middle of the field, makes a break toward his own bench, and is finally taken down.
Yep, and Joe, this is what happens when you have wide receivers wide open deep down the field. Now you have a lot of respect going on further down the field, and you have Owens wide open in the flat.
Cologne looks to throw again, tries to step up, and runs out of time, as he is sacked on that play.
And another flag late.
And that was very late, well after the play was over. Asante Tate was in on that tackle, one of a couple of Eagles who contributed to that sack.
No, they're discussing it, and we haven't gotten an official signal yet.
See if we can spot it here.
Did somebody come in late into that? Maybe. We missed it on the tail end of that replay, but I believe there was a white jersey kind of barreling in on that pile. Let's see if that's the call.
The Eagles defense wants a timeout. The clock is still running.
It looks like we'll have multiple fouls. The plays have offset.
Yeah.
So essentially a big do-over here, but the clock, like you mentioned, Joe, is running, and the Bearcats are just fine with that.
No doubt about it, especially leading by 2 scores. With a 2-point conversion following a touchdown, they could make this a 3-score game again. That was Ward on the reception, and he's tackled at the 5-yard line. So the Bearcats are now on the doorstep. They are going to go without a huddle. Tate was without a cleat there.
Second down and short.
That's important. No first down on that play. Jersey can pick up a first down around the goal line, and that's Adams barreling forward, and that is good for the first down. So goal line for this Bearcats offense here.
Yeah, so ball spotted right at the 3-yard line, first and goal, so 4 downs here. The Bearcats can afford to take their time. We got 12-10 and counting officially on the clock. And remember, up by 2 scores, a touchdown immediately makes this well, not immediately. They would need the extra point to make it a 3-score game.
Well, Adams has been a bruiser out of the backfield. Such a tough tackle. We'll see if he gets it again. Instead, it goes to Ward on the sweep, and he is in for the touchdown.
Yeah, so the Eagles have done a good job of getting pressure in the backfield, but the Bearcats able to utilize that run towards the corner, and Ward is able to make a couple of would-be tacklers miss, and it's now a 15-point game. So a 1-point attempt makes it the full breadth of 2 scores, but we know what Jay Roque is thinking here. Get the 2-point conversion, make it a 3-score game again, and put the Eagles really in a tight spot.
The Eagles defense really wanted a stop on that drive. They don't get it. They have to have a stop here on this 2-point conversion. It's going to be tough to get the ball back 3 times in under 11 minutes.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, it will be Socrates in motion.
Throw goes to Socrates, and that screen pass was executed perfectly by the Bearcats. That is good for 2 points, and Jersey's lead is back to 3 possessions.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth, Joe. That was perfectly executed by the Bearcats. Well played by the Eagles. They were in the backfield. Maybe could have stepped in front of that and taken it, the other way, but that was just well executed, perfectly timed pass. And you could see it here again. Socrates with the quick beat to the corner of the end zone, and now it is once again a 3-score game as both teams have scored 8 points here in the second half.
Well, watching it on replay, the Bearcats certainly got great blocking. But I think the big reason that play worked is because Socrates faked as if he was going to break up the field initially and then took a step back. And that initial break up the field drew the defense in. That left the Bearcats 2 defenders instead of 3 on that left side. And as a result, Socrates was able to take it into the end zone easily. There you see right there, just 2 defenders to block. 1 defender ended up backfield well behind the play. As I said before, well executed by Jersey. They go up by 3 scores, and their defense has a chance to put this game away with a stop on this drive.
Yep, and for the Eagles, now is the time to make a move. They've been down from the jump and had a lot of momentum after that safety and then touchdown in this second half, but the Bearcats have made up for that, and we start again.
That's tipped in the air off the kickoff and taken by Keller. He's wrapped up, got away from 1 tackle, cannot get away from a second. That was Will Robinson, according to the roster for Jersey, on that tackle.
Yeah, nice job by Robinson to follow up off the assist by Nathaniel, who slowed him up. And the Eagles will take over. And Joe, while we do have a moment, we should also thank our amazing crew tonight. Andrew Rotundo on our main camera that you see on your screen now. Chris Deanna is on the field with our hero cam, and Nick Durst is manning the controls as our engineer tonight. And if you're watching this game, you know that we had some problems going on live tonight. We pivoted and had to record this game and then put it up. That was due to some internet connectivity issues here. The bad weather, of course, didn't help, but thanks to our amazing crew, which includes yourself, Joe, and we were able to get this one up, and to our fans, of course, who are now watching it live on tape. But great job by our crew to pivot and get this one up on the air.
No question about that. If you're watching our debut game, you are likely tuning in at about 10:30 or 11 p.m. on Saturday evening, May 20th. Eagles looking to stay alive in this game. They need a score, and they need it quickly. Johnson wanted to throw, is in trouble, and floats it up in the air. It's intercepted. Javon Young, pick 6. The second interception of this game that has gone for a Jersey Bearcats touchdown.
Tremendous defensive play, and it all starts with that rush up the middle. It was Ramirez who really put the intense pressure on Johnson. I thought Johnson could have been caught in the grass there, and that play could have been dead even before he threw that. He's really in the grass. You'll see it on your screen about right there. He's done for. But they let the play continue, and the big guy gets in the end zone.
Well, I agree with you, Dave. I would have ruled him in the grasp if I'm looking at it on replay. The officials don't have that luxury, and I think if that is ruled in the grasp, there may have been some complaints on the other side.
Right.
Though, given the results, that may not have been the worst thing. Nonetheless, this Bearcats defense has created 2 touchdowns in this game, and we spoke about it. The Jersey pressure on the defensive line has resulted in a lot of mistakes by the opposition in the games we've covered here at Warananko so far this year, and yet again, this Jersey defense forces a turnover.
Yep, and defense deserves a lot of credit because they've really only given up the 2 scores. Remember, 1 score came on a kickoff return, and the 2-point conversion is complete thanks to the reception by Kemmerer, the eligible lineman.
Bearcats now lead it by 25. As you get a second look from field level at the celebration on the back end of that pick 6.
Yeah,
now, did that conversion make it a 25-point game or a 27-point game? I'm trying to do the math quickly.
Yeah, it was 39, and now it's 47. That is correct.
Okay.
So 25 points here, you would think makes this an insurmountable lead to come back from, but we've been guilty of saying some things that have come back to haunt us. Call it the announcer's jinx, call it whatever you want, but
don't bring me into this.
Announcers, plural, Joe.
Well, you said we've said some things. I stand by my declaration from last time. I did not declare the game over in week 1.
I don't know. We're going to go back to the tape.
We have tape.
We're gonna go back.
In fact, I said multiple times this game is not over. You can check out every game on demand via our PDF Sports Network YouTube page, youtube.com /PDF Sportsnet. Our entire archive of broadcasts, not only in the AAL2, but in several other semi-professional and professional leagues. All of those games available on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check them out. And we have more to come from the Bearcats here this season. 2 more games on the regular season schedule, plus any playoff games that are played here, and potentially the AAL2 championship game, wherever that is played. So we will see where the championship game might take us. The Bearcats hope that the road ends here, but they still have some work to do as the number 2 seed.
Yeah, we will certainly petition to cover that championship wherever it gets played, whether it's here in Jersey, somewhere else, or even a neutral site. We will see where that ends up, and we will try and bring that to you. Like Joe mentioned, if the Bearcats are home for a playoff game, we will do that as well. And we've really enjoyed this time, and we have a new – no, we do not. I'm sorry. It's just the way they lined up. I thought we had a new quarterback.
That looked like an 11.
All right.
I saw exactly what you saw. Johnson takes the snap, looks over the middle. Nobody open, has a man open, corner of the end zone. He missed him.
Just missed him, yeah. They were not synced up there as Meeks looked to be pretty open there. They lost track of him, and certainly Johnson had the time. But big incompletion there.
And when you get that kind of pass blocking, a receiver is bound to get open in most cases. And initially, The Bearcats had that play covered really well, but once Meeks broke open, he was wide open. And that's one of the rare occasions where Johnson has been given a lot of time to survey the field from the pocket.
That's true. That's very true. And all he had to do was kind of dance a couple of steps in that pocket. He's misfired on a couple of passes here.
We approach 3 minutes to play as Johnson will take off to run. The ball is punched loose.
I don't agree with that.
He was not down,
That
Dave.
ball was live. It was certainly live. Now, the referee had their back to the play. Well, you know, we're looking at the back of Johnson, but we will slow that down and we will take another look, but our naked eyes were in perfect view of that, and that looked like a fumble. Timeout has been called by the Bearcats.
Before I see it, I would bet anything this was a fumble in real time.
Oh, yeah, that's a fumble.
Now, was the shin down?
I don't think so, Joe.
I don't think so either, but playing devil's advocate against myself now.
And if Nick could give us another look, maybe even slower, that would be impressive. And maybe if he can even stop it right where that ball comes out.
That's tough to do.
That is very tough to do. We're going to test our engineer, Nick Durst, on this one, but we could see it. That ball's out. That ball's out.
That's
we got a little bit of a jump.
That's not,
that's not anything we can help, but
it was out by a frame, Dave.
Right. And, you know, give credit. I think coming in to disrupt that was Jules on the play. So give him a lot of credit, not only for the fumble, or what could have been the fumble force, but also not giving up on that play either. Because obviously Johnson was well past him. And it was Jules coming in.
This Bearcats defense, 3 interceptions and a fumble forced. As Johnson will look to throw. And he now takes off to run. 3 Bearcats in on that tackle, and Johnson has had to pay for just about every yard in this game.
I was going to say, Johnson's going to need some ice after this game, and he is going to enjoy his Sunday no matter what happens as a result of this game. Just lying down on his couch and relaxing, because he's earned that tonight. Taking a host of hits as the clock now sees us under 2.5 minutes left officially in this one.
Clock here at Waranenko reads 2 minutes and 10 seconds. First down for the Eagles. And that ball was snapped off of a back. It is flipped into the end zone for a touchdown. Glenn Keller was left all alone.
How about that? Call him Chris Johnson Mahomes, as he just kind of backflipped that one. Kind of backflipped that one over to Keller, who, just like you said, was wide open. And perhaps because of the over pursuit on the muffed snap, that really didn't go anywhere.
Well, I thought that was snapped off one of the backs.
Maybe.
The center snapped it off his own leg. That was Eric Farrell, the center.
Well, either way, it's the third touchdown allowed by the Bearcats defense. They have allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown, and they yielded a safety as well. But the Eagles have gone for 2 every single time they've been in this position.
The Eagles early in this game fell behind by 2 scores, and you just get the sense that if they weren't playing from 2 scores down so early, this could have been a very different game. And Johnson had nowhere to go there as he is swallowed up in the backfield. John Kennedy all over him.
Yeah, Kennedy, of course, just signed this week by the Bearcats, and on the Bearcats social media page, they put a picture of Kennedy up and said, "We got a lot better this week." And Kennedy makes Johnson pay, who's Johnson now is very slow to get up. Now, we should mention the 1-minute warning has been put in effect. It has stopped with 54 seconds left. The lead is 19. And Joe, if this score holds and the Eagles fall, it would be the 3rd straight time they've dropped the game after a victory this season. So they will be 3 up and 3 down. And depending on what the United Firepower do, they might have dipped in the standings to what could be 4th place, because the United, they have one less game played. They are 2-2 this season. And depending on how they do today, they could advance to 3-2 and leave the Eagles a half a game back. And really, Joe, the Bearcats, with the win, can almost undoubtedly secure 2nd place, especially with a win next week against the Firepower, who, of course, are the team that would
next week would do it.
Absolutely, yeah. I would clinch it for sure. But they would be 2 games ahead of the Eagles in the standings with 2 left, and, of course, the season series in hand. Obviously, should the lead hold, and presumably it should.
Officially 54.2 on the clock here in this 4th quarter. It's a 19-point game. See if the Eagles try to steal a possession back on this kickoff.
We should mention, too, to our viewers that the Bearcats will be on their bye next week, and so will we. We do not have a contest next week, as our other team that we cover, the Tri-State Warriors of the Women's Football Alliance, they, too, will have their 2nd of 2 byes this season. And then both teams are back on June 3rd.
I was about to say, we'll make up for no coverage next weekend with 2 games the following weekend, as that kickoff is taken to about midfield.
Yeah, Kareem Williams with the return there. He's one of the front men with 48 seconds now left to go. But speaking of June 3rd, Joe, we still have yet to get a confirmed start time for the women's game. That might be a 4 p.m. kickoff or a 5 p.m. kickoff. The Tri-State Warriors taking on the New York Knockout, a team in which they were able to defeat last season. So the Knockout look to return the favor, while the Warriors look to get on the plus side in the standings. And at 6:30, the Bearcats will be hosting the United Firepower, and we'll learn a lot more about where the Firepower are in the standings in that game. That could be a game to determine 2nd place.
Bearcats have it back inside of 50 seconds to play. They'll hand off to Nasir Adams, who was taken down.
The clock will continue to run, though, because the attempt was made to advance the ball. Actually, they've stopped it now, as maybe they got a loss on the play.
Now,
with
Dave,
38 seconds.
We have to choose a player of the game.
We do. We do.
Any help for us, Nick?
You know, they've spread the ball out so well in this game, and they've...
Can you give the game ball to the defense?
You know what? You probably could, and I'd love to speak to Joey Ramirez after this game, number 88, because really, when you're playing a quarterback the caliber of Johnson, who can move like him, the job that he's done on that defensive line has been terrific.
That handoff on the sweep went to Savridis. He's taken down in Eagles territory. Clock stopped on the 1st down with an even 15 seconds remaining. I think if there was ever a night to give a game ball or a player of the game honor to one side of the ball, it's today. A couple of defensive touchdowns here in this one. 3 interceptions. Now, I mentioned before 1 forced fumble, but I had that last play fresh in my mind. Did they have an official forced fumble? There was an unforced fumble on a kickoff.
Yeah, there was. There was a muffed snap here. I don't know if there's an official forced fumble.
I don't think so. 15 seconds remaining. Savridis in motion up the field. Cologne looks that way, throws over the middle instead. Ward makes the catch, and he is down at the 5. The Bearcats are dead set on scoring again.
That clock should run, yep. Might get one more play off here.
I thought they took a timeout.
I didn't think so. I think A.J. Roque wanted time to continue to roll, and they automatically stopped it, because a couple of weeks ago, Joe, this was something that we called into question too, because they didn't stop, or they did not stop the clock even when runs were going backwards, and now today we're getting stoppages even when the ball is advanced inside of a minute, unless there was a timeout here, but I still don't know who has called the timeout. Not that it really matters much.
Jersey did. Jersey was feverishly calling timeout from the bench.
Got you.
And from the offensive backfield.
So maybe that's why A.J. Roque was upset. But anyway, there's 6.6 seconds left. I think the only thing in question now is what the final score will be. But I'll tell you what, Joe, you know, the Steel City Stampede are undefeated, and they might still be undefeated after this week. But if you look at final scores, the Bearcats really have been the AAL2's hottest team right now, and they've got the win streak to prove it.
Well, the Stampede have a game in hand against the Bearcats because those two teams will meet just once this year.
Right.
That was back in the opener, and the Stampede won that game. So by virtue of that victory, they will own any tiebreaker over Jersey should it come to playoff seeding.
Yeah.
Bearcats need the Stampede to lose twice, and that's assuming that Jersey does not lose again in their last two games.
Right, that's why it's such a tall order to get that 1 seed, but got to take care of your own business first.
Cologne for the end zone was nearly intercepted after he was hobbled a bit on a sack. Christopher Johnson on the defensive side of the ball nearly had an interception. And not to be lost in this game, Johnson's been playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's seen that with a couple of players offensively and defensively, but certainly takes its toll, and that's why you got a bye week next week. If you're the Bearcats, you're really looking forward to that. Kind of get yourself healthy, re-energized. Final 2 games here in Jersey. You don't have to travel anymore for the season, or the regular season anyway. So they're in an enviable spot for sure.
5.3 remaining in this game. Jersey will snap it from about the 7-yard line. Ward in motion up the field. Cologne looks right. He throws that way. And that pass is incomplete.
And the clock stops with, I think, 1.3 now left to go. And it's certainly bleeding this one down. But the Bearcats will go to 5-1 on the season. The Eagles will fall to 3-3. It's an 8-game regular season over a span of 9 weeks. No matter what happens, Joe, at the end of the regular season, there is a week off between the first round of the playoffs and the regular season. So conceivably, another bye for a set of teams at the conclusion of June 10th.
Final play of this game. Savridis in motion. Cologne fakes the handoff, throws for the end zone. Just a bit too high. He was looking for Kemmerer once again, but that incompletion will not put a damper on this one for Jersey. They score 47 points and defeat the Maryland Eagles for the second time this season. Our final, the Bearcats 47 and the Eagles 28.
Yeah, you know, they needed a strong second half. A.J. Roque wanted to see it. Kind of took a little bit to get started. They suffered that safety. They gave up a touchdown, but after that point, the Bearcats were able to get right, and they put up 47 points. And when you do that, it's hard for teams to catch you. And when your defense scores 2 of their own touchdowns, it's even tougher. And the Bearcats deserve the credit. And then they go to 5-1. And in a few moments, we'll get to speak to somebody.
All right, so Dave is going to coordinate getting a player to join us here for our post-game interview. And Andrew is going to venture back down to the field and track him down. Dave communicating with Andrew, who dismounts his perch. Now, Dave, I couldn't hear the conversation through my headset. Who's joining us?
I've asked for Joey Ramirez. I really like the way he played on the defensive line, and he is a captain of this team. So you figure we wanted to go defense, Joe. Let's give it to the captain of the defense and talk to him a little bit about what it took to keep Johnson kind of corralled. But this was a team effort, a team win, and I think it's obvious that so many deserve the game ball, and our player of the game will be Ramirez. But a lot of deserving candidates.
Well, I think someone already has a headset on down there. So, Dave, why don't we throw it down to field level? Or not?
After him, you go. After him.
So we continue to await our East Coast Trophies and Awards Player of the Game. Andrew down on field level, along with our hero camera operator, Chris. And they are coordinating together to get us a guest.
Yeah, well, both teams are, you could see it at midfield. They, of course, come in for a closing prayer. And these two teams will not see one another anymore unless they meet in the playoffs. Now, Joe, that's something to think about, too. 2 versus 3, 1 versus 4 matchups. But we are going to have our guest, Joey Ramirez, join us.
Bearcats defensive lineman Joey Ramirez joining us, a captain of this defense. Joey, thanks for coming on. The defensive unit for your team, great job today. What was the key to forcing so many turnovers in this game?
It was definitely trying to get a lot of pressure on all sides of the ball. Our D-line has always been good at getting pressure. Linebackers filling the gaps, and then our defensive backs locking it down.
Yeah, Joey, you know, Coach Josh said that you're facing a quarterback who's got plenty of wheels, likes to get out of the pocket, likes to manufacture his own space. As a defensive lineman, what are you guys kind of discussing to make sure you keep him contained?
The biggest thing is containing. You got to make sure the defensive ends hold the outside, and then anything that goes inside, we just got to all attack the ball at one time. You got to work as one unit.
Coach Roque spoke to us about a complete effort, 4 quarters. What is the key to playing with the level of intensity we see on your defense for a full 4 quarters?
So we have a lot of guys that switch in and out, so we definitely have like that mentality that when you're in, you have to make a play. Everyone's always giving 100% at all times. If you're tired, take a break. You'll get back in and you'll get your shot.
All right, Joey, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to some more members of the Bearcats defense coming up shortly. We thank our East Coast Trophies and Awards player of the game.
Corey Miller will join us. Corey, what's up, man?
Coach K's wrap-up. Good to see you guys back again.
I know you wanted that headset.
Oh,
so
man, I love talking. I get paid to talk, literally.
Awesome. Well, listen, Coach Corey, you know, we knew coming in that containing this quarterback was going to be a tall order. That's where they manufacture a lot of their offense. Your line did a really great job against him for the most part and made some really key plays in this game to turn the tide.
Yeah, sorry, one of my players just asked if we can eat. Yes, you can eat. You ate all day. But pretty much that's like the biggest thing is they rely so much on broken plays. And they just rely, and it's like you got to keep him in the pocket and force him to read a defense. Because when he's running around having fun, that's when they get amped up, and that's when you start losing that. Well, a couple years ago when I was with the Berks County Raptors, that happened to us. We were up big, he started getting going, and then it was all she wrote, point blank.
We look down your team's schedule, and we see a lot of big numbers on the offensive side, but how about the plays the defensive side of the ball made tonight? Forced 3 turnovers, a couple of those interceptions going back for touchdowns. How good does that feel?
Oh, that's great. They've been bottling that up. Oh, Vaughn every week at practice is yelling at me to let him eat. And it's like, I'm about ready to start bringing ramen noodles to practice. But anyways, it was awesome to see Sadiq make that catch and run the whole way back. He was dipping and diving. It was fantastic to see. Then Big Vaughn had that pick. Oh, man, he was hyped. That was the most hyped I've seen our team in a long time.
Awesome. And, you know, Coach Corey, the team goes on a bye now. So how important is it for these guys to rest up, but also, you know, stay within themselves, keep at it at practice to close out these next 2 games with wins?
So I got my O-line. We like to call them Dudleyville. So we got Devon, that's Justin. He needs to ice himself up.
Wrestling reference, Dave.
Then we got Bubba Ray, that's Sean. And then we got Little Spike in the middle. And all week, Little Spike has been texting me saying how sore he is. And I'm like, just make sure you're icing. Because it's been a while since he played a whole season. We got to take care of the bruises. And Dudleyville, they dominated today, minus like a few things. We got to adjust 1 or 2 things. We got film on Monday. But yeah, pretty much I told these guys, get with Dave Riemann. He's definitely our player guy that takes care of everything. I'm blanking on the word. Trainer.
Total body performance.
Total body performance, exactly. Total body performance. Get with Dave on this time off. Make sure you guys are hydrating. Lay off the pizza, you know, stuff like that. And I just feel like if we come back refreshed, we're going to make a chip run. Because that's ultimately the goal. We lost week 1, and someone has to pay every single week. And unfortunately, that was the Maryland Eagles this week.
Well, Corey, you can't put them through a table, but this is the next best thing. Big win for your team here tonight. I love the Dudleyville reference. We'll let you go. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, drive safe, fellas. Enjoy. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Well, that's our wrap-up with Coach K, Dave. We thank
nice
defensive coordinator or defensive coach, Coach Corey Miller, for joining us. And with that, we will wrap up our broadcast. The Bearcats, with a big win here tonight, take another step towards securing a top 2 seed. The number 1 seed is still in play as they defeat the Eagles 47-28. Once again, our next broadcast will be in a couple of weeks. 2 games going on at the same time. Tri-State Warriors football in the WFA, and of course back here at the Waranenko Sports Complex, we will have coverage of the Jersey Bearcats taking on the United Firepower. Until next time, this has been Joe Foreman alongside David Pizzuto, Christiana, our hero camera operator, Nick Durst, our engineer, Andrew Rotundo on our main camera. All of us thank you for tuning in and have a good night.